Okay, so today what I want to talk about is getting into the mindset to reduce plastic. I think a lot of the focus at the moment is on recycling, but recycling should come last. First thing is that we want to reduce, then reuse, and then recycle. So, for example, it's not good enough just buying a bottle of pop and then throwing the bottle into the recycling. Well, that's the first level. What we should do is we should think, how do we reduce using the amount of plastic bottles? So for that we may invest in a, sort of a reusable, sort of a flask or a very sturdy bottle. And then that way we're reducing the amount that needs to be bought, and by reusing and reusing that one over and over again, it minimises the amount that we have to recycle. And this mindset of reducing what we use and what we consume can be quite difficult. I mean, it sounds very easy, but for example, when I thought, I'll start doing these videos, obviously I got my digital camera, and then I was like, well, how do I make the camera sort of face height? And then I was like, I'm going to need to get a tripod. And then I was like, sort of looking on Amazon, looking at these tripods, and I was like, what am I doing? And instead I just literally got a pile of books. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 books. Piled them in a stack. Put the camera on top, and there we go. The camera's now face height. Probably not the most flattering angle, but it's just taking the time to think, is there another way that I can do this? For example, someone commented on one of my videos saying, there's a plastic box on the shelf, which there is. They are dehumidifiers. You get them 2 for £1 out the pound shop, and they collect the moisture out of the air to stop mould and things. And in the past, when they were kind of done, I would just throw them away and go and buy a new one. But what I've started doing now is, if you make a tiny little slit in it, you can pour the water out and then refill it up with salt. A few people go, well, why are you bothering? It's only £1, and salt. Well, first of all, salt is still cheaper, but it's getting out of the mindset of, it's cheap, just throw it away. It's cheap, just throw it away. Another example, when I did my first few videos, I took the memory card out of the camera and then realised the computer doesn't actually have a slot to put memory cards in. So at first, you go, I need a new computer. And then it's like, no you don't. So what I started doing was I started going to the library, which is like less than a 10-minute walk from here, and you can use the library for free, and just uploading it at the computers there. But sort of since then, a friend has gave me one of theirs that they used to have and didn't need anymore. So you see, you can see where the cycle's going. Reducing the need by reusing something that already exists. And it was actually in that kind of concept which led me to create a vegetable garden. Our garden, we only have a small yard, and I wanted to reduce the amount of veg that we're buying from supermarkets. I know a lot of people are like, we'll go to a farmer's market, but where we are, there aren't any farmers markets. So yeah, in the wanting to reduce, I was like, what can we start doing? And I was looking on B&Q, looking at garden planters, and they're all nice, but you know, they're expensive, and I'm like, it kind of defeats the point to avoid using brand new things to buy brand new things. So, you know, I just took a little bit of time out and came to the conclusion that I would try and make our own, and that's what I've done out of old pallets. You know, and then I was like, oh, how am I going to fix the pallets? I know, I need a drill. But, you know, again, just taking that little bit of time, you know, not rushing into things. You know, I found someone who had a drill that we could lend, so we lent that. The only thing we did buy was we bought little metal corners, you know, so we could attach the pallets together. So what we've done is we ended up using, you know, old pallets donated by a friend who was going to just take it to the landfill. So again, we've reduced what's going to landfill and we're reusing it. And we've now filled it with soil. We to fill the main bulk of it, we use soil that we got for free from places, you know, sort of from Gumtree, off eBay. And then the final layer we did buy sort of compost, because we, you know, we did want to, you know, make sure the vegetables had like sort of nice soil to grow in. I know we could have, you know, sort of made a compost bin and then all of that and then did it ourselves, but at this stage, you know, we weren't ready to do that, you know, sort of making compost. There's quite a bit of learning involved in that. So yeah, we've now planted carrots, broccoli and cabbage. It is a bit late in the year, but they have started growing, which, you know, sort of makes you realise how much you have to kind of plan and prepare things. You know, usually I'm quite, you know, sort of, I like doing things on impulse. I'm like, oh right, I want to do this, right, I need this. But learning how to minimise and reduce plastic is, you know, one of the fundamental things is taking that time and thinking, you know, is there a better way I can do this? So I know a lot of people, when they are on the very, very, very start of the plastic free journey, they just feel very overwhelmed, you know, oh, I don't know where to start. And that's what I hope these videos are going to help. So this video, I know it sounded like me rambling on a bit, and it was, but it's the mindset, and one of the most important things you can do to help you reduce and reuse plastic is to just stop and think and try not to make impulse purchases. Because if I'd have purchased everything that I've mentioned in this video, I would have had a tripod, I would have had a new computer, I'd have had some USB thing, and I'd probably spent about £300 on a planter from B&Q, when I've managed to get one for, I mean, the metal corners cost about 50p. I brought a few of them, so I spent about £4 instead of, you know, hundreds of pounds. So, you know, take that minute, have a think, you know, and potentially save yourself lots of money, but also it means that you're reducing the contribution that will eventually end up in landfill. So yeah, thank you.